So almost every church has Sunday school. They're going to have kids, they're going to have a nursery. Some churches have daycares. A lot of churches use that for another source of income. But when it comes to your children, I mean, I've never had anybody push back on me in protecting kids. So, but unfortunately, I have gone into some churches and asked them if they do background checks. Oh no, we don't, because we know everybody.
No.
And that's a lot of times what we get nowadays is we know everybody. But do you really know them?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we think we know people, but in reality we don't. So unfortunately, we recommend background checks on any volunteer that works with children or youth.
So one of the biggest claims that we have to deal with is frozen pipes bursting.
You know, churches nowadays want to try to save money. Churches are only maybe in there now on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be a lot where they're in there at least 2 or 3 times a week. A lot of people are not in the office.
Mm-hmm.
They're working remote, or nobody's in the building typically until maybe Sunday morning. I know the heat gets cut back, especially in wintertime, to save money.
Yep.
Watch you don't cut that back too much,
Right.
because if you cut back that too much, then it just makes things.
What's a good temperature to cut that back to?
I would, if you want to say, 60. I mean, it's in the middle of the road. It's not, when people come in, they're maybe going to set it at 70 or 72 when they have bodies in there.
Mm-hmm.
But 60 would be good, because that way, and also having some type of, and I know most churches cannot have the technology for Wi-Fi to be able to see remotely what the temperature is in their churches. So in case the temperature does drop, it's great. They can look at, hey, something's probably going on with our heating. We need to get somebody in there to take a look at it. When it comes to fire suppression systems, oftentimes those will freeze. Unfortunately, you cannot put a shut-off valve on a life safety system, so you can't do that. So what we encourage churches to do is, make sure you have your fire suppression system inspected annually, which is required in pretty much all states and all municipalities. Second, have somebody in the church know, how to actually, if a sprinkler system does go off and they know it's not a fire system, especially if the alarm, it is not hooked up to an alarm and is not monitored, have somebody on church staff know where the fire riser room is, how to maybe shut that off in case of an incident when a sprinkler system goes off due to a non-fire issue.
What else can our churches be thinking about as far as preventative maintenance on the building?
Mm-hmm. So one thing is getting your air conditioner and heating system checked at least once a year. If you can do it twice a year, that's recommended, before you go into winter and then right before you go into summer. But make sure that's inspected and checked to know that everything's working properly. Make sure your filters are replaced at least once a year. I recommend twice a year. Just set them on a schedule and know that I'm doing it, because it just keeps that, as dirt and different people come in. But just the overall general maintenance of as we come into, springtime, trees are blooming, they're starting to drop blooms, gutters can get clogged. Make sure your gutters are free of debris. Make sure the roofs are free of debris, especially if you have trees that are hanging over your roofs. I'd recommend that you get those trimmed to, number one, if the tree is older, that branch can fall off and cause damage to your roof. And it's, again, just a natural debris.
So Matt, a lot of claims that we get are just your general slip and falls during the winter, not necessarily just the winters. What should we be looking out for when it comes to preventing slip and falls?
Mm-hmm. So slips, trips, and falls are in the top 5 with OSHA, not
Sure.
just churches, but across the nation.
Right.
Trips, slips, and falls are probably one of our number 1 claims that we get.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with the parking lots. So make sure that your parking lots don't have holes or big cracks. Now, I know it's a lot of money to keep parking lots up.
Mm-hmm.
Preventative maintenance is a costly expense of churches, but unfortunately you need to do preventative maintenance in order to keep up on things. But sidewalks, if a sidewalk is being lifted by a tree, make sure you take care of that, because people can trip over that. Your stairs, make sure you have handrails. So especially, again, if you have a church that has an elderly congregation, make sure they have handrails to be able to come up the steps. Keep things free of debris. Mark the edge of the steps with yellow paint or even white paint. I know sometimes churches think, okay, that's not aesthetically pleasing,
Right.
but to be able to do something like that, or even maybe you can put some type of grip tape. If you've got a wooden ladder, throw it away.
Yeah.
Burn it. Have a fiberglass ladder. That's what we recommend, because that way at least it's more stable. And if somebody is going to get up on a ladder, have somebody there with you to maybe hold the ladder, or in case somebody does fall, they can actually call right away.
So Matt, one of the main issues that we want to address is workers' comp claims within the Upper New York Conference. So could you speak into some of the causes of workers' comp, and maybe some things that we can do to lessen those risks?
Sure. Yeah. So slips, trips, and falls are going to be the number one. Daycare. You've got kitchens that people are doing food prep. They may slip on a wet floor. I saw a claim the other day that somebody slipped on a banana peel and ended up, hurting twisting their knee. And when people fall, they're going to injure their backs. They're going to hurt their knees. They may, hit their shoulder on a door. I've seen claims where people are walking through a doorway and they hit their door on a door jamb and end up injuring themselves. But tripping over cots when it's nap time for daycares is a big thing that we see. Also, standing up on chairs, that they'll stand up on a chair and step off the wrong way, or they'll pick up a child in the wrong way and end up straining their back. Another issue that causes workers' compensation claims would be office ergonomics. They may be sitting in a chair too long, or they're not sitting in the chair the right way. Carpal tunnel is another issue that we see because of typing too much or different things. And just teaching the basics, teaching them how to sit properly, teaching them how to get up and, not, if they're sitting at a computer 8 hours a day, make sure they're getting up, not staring at a computer screen, looking around, making sure we're teaching them on proper lifting techniques and different things like that are some of the things that you can do to help prevent work comp issues.